Hey guys, welcome to our West Coast Swing class. Now today we're actually going to be combining Tuesday's class, which is our Advanced Open West Coast Swing class, and today's Intermediate class. So we're going to be doing two patterns in each level. So those of you who are working on your intermediate dancing, you can have fun at the level you're at. Those of you that have had more experience, you'll have a full basket to play with. Now if you're an intermediate dancer and you're just starting this stuff, if you want to play with the advanced stuff, go right ahead. Just don't waste a lot of time on it because those are not the patterns you're going to be doing more of. You're going to be doing these intermediate level patterns. Na and I are going to dance through all four patterns with you to the music so you can see what they look like. Sugar push to get us going. We're doing an overturned pass. We'll do that again so you can see it. That was our intermediate pattern. And then a whip with a hand change spin. So we're going to do a whip with a hand change spin. We're going to do that one more time. We'll switch it around so you can see it from the other side. Okay, and then these are our two advanced patterns. Basket whip with a check. With a check and spin. So let me break these patterns down for you, everybody, so that you get an idea what's going on. Now, on the first pattern, the overturned pass, the ladies' part is exactly the same foot movements as the most basic pattern that you learned in West Coast Swing. And that is the lady is doing walk, walk, run, run, turn, anchor, step. So her pattern stays exactly the same, except we're going to bend it. Now, why I'm stressing that it stays the same is because this is what most ladies do when confronted with this pattern, is they start to twist their body and try and run around a circle, and the first 5 steps in a pass are forward. So even though this is bending, it's still forward, 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 and then anchor step. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. I'll do it from the other side so you can see it the other way. So it is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. All right? Now the man's, let me just talk about a couple other things there. A more advanced dancer would definitely create some shape and style into this move before she started into the next thing. So you may have seen this danced out there before. My suggestion is don't do that right now because you have to figure out how to walk forward around this turn. I'm going to bring now, and we're going to take just a second to show you how easy it is to do the wrong thing. So what you're going to see Na do is, as she starts forward, she's kind of stepping across herself. Right? She's stepping across herself. Well, her body's actually still going that way. There's no way that she's going to run and get over there because she's still going that way. So now this is the correct way. You'll see her walk forward, run on by the man, and then get to her anchor. We took her out of camera there. I'm sorry about that. We're going to do that again slowly. Walk forward, run on by. Now you'll notice she's still kind of drifting, which is the bad part of this pattern. Now the reason that Na's drifting right now is because she's not doing one of those other things, which is walk, shift your weight forward so your body wants to go in that direction, right? So we're going to talk you through how she's changing that this time. So she does walk the same. Now, by leaving her feet there in that position, she's now going to start to incline her body where she's going, which is not over there, and it's not over there, it's down there. So she has to get her body falling in the direction that she's going in. All right, so let's do that again. So we're going to take that nice and slow. 1, 2, we're going to do that again. We don't want Na to cut across herself, right? She's going to walk 2 steps forward. 1, 2, now she's going to lean forward in the direction that she's running. All right, we'll do that again slowly. 1, 2, now she's leaning forward in the direction that she runs to, right? So that's that pass. Thanks, that was perfect. Okay? Now, the man's part of this pattern, here's where his gets a little crazy, right? Normally the man does step back, step off the track, triple on the spot, square up with the lady, and anchor step, our basic left side pass in West Coast swing. Well, this one is the same, kind of. I'm still going to do those 2 steps, but instead of getting a quarter of a turn and maybe having moved 3 or 4 inches from where I started, I'm actually making my first step go toward the end of the track where the lady was starting from. I'm continuing to move that way for my second step, and then I'm, again, everything from that, we hope, will be as normal. So again, first 2 steps, 1, 2. First 2 steps on this thing, 1, 2. Definitely making a big movement in that direction. Now the ladies, I'm in the track with the lady at the moment, and as I make this move, it still has to take me off of the track. So if I were with my back to the camera, my partner is right here in this track, right where that mirror ball is. So as I make that first move, you can see that I've cleared the mirror ball so she can come by. Now, some of you may find that the lady wants to come where you're at, and so you may have to move a tiny bit backward out of her path as you do that triple step and she goes by, right? You may have to make a little adjustment. And that's what that is. That's an adjustment, because every girl is going to do this pattern slightly differently. And as the man, from time to time, we have to make a tiny adjustment to make that work according to their skill level, or did they catch the lead for it? So in an ideal world, I stay right here and the lady goes by. I have to tell you that the ideal world happens about 20% of the time. The rest of the time, I am doing some kind of adjustment to get off the track as the lady goes by. It's a triple step. While I'm turning, it looks very much like the normal one. It just happens to be, rotating or moving, but it's not a step that breaks the normal pattern of that pattern. So again, that was our overturned left side pass. Our second intermediate pattern was the whip with a hand change. Now, the whip with a hand change is exactly the same pattern as it always has been. So the man is doing side, forward, triple and step across the track, forward, down the track, and anchor step, right? That's our basic whip. None of that is going to change, with the exception of, as we get to count 4, right? I'm going to start this whip with my back to you so you see what happens. 1, 2, 3, and as we step on 4, we're stepping across the track as the man, the lady is stepping into us. As she steps into us, I'm going to let this hand drop down to the middle of her back, the dimple on her back, if you will. Let that hand get there. I'm then going to hook behind on that action, come around, and anchor step. So it would look like this all in one piece. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I hook behind, I get out of the way. 5, 6, I got to switch hands back again. 7 and 8. So I'll do that facing the mirror so you can see it from that angle. So it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. The arm's now going behind the lady's back. As she continues by me, that hand moves into mine. 5, 6. I'm going to bring it back around as she finishes her turn. 7 and 8. I'm going to do that real quick with Na while we're talking about the lead on that so you can see that action happen from both angles. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I'm not forcing that hand at all. I'm letting it drop. As it drops straight to the floor, the arm will naturally bend on its own at the end of that, and that's how I accomplish the hand change. All right, so I'm going to do it from that same angle again. Oh, no, sorry, here it is. And 1, 2, 3, and as she comes in. So as she comes in, that hand, right, all it's doing is just dropping. It's just dropping to the floor. Okay, that's all it's doing. Right? There's none of this going on because that's going to get very awkward and uncomfortable and probably hurt the lady, and then she'll knock you down. Right? So we're just letting the weight of that arm hang as it goes through that moment in time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now as she continues to rotate, that hand will go from here to over here as she turns. 5. I'm only guiding it with my hand so that it makes it into the other hand. 6, and then 7 and 8. I've accomplished my weight change. So we're going to do it from the other side this way. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And one more time from the side view. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, thank you. Now, the ladies' part to this pattern is exactly the same, ladies, as the whip with outside roll turn. So on that pattern, you did 1, 2, triple step, pivot, pivot, chasse to the side. Right? So let me do that again, ladies' part on that one. She is doing 1, 2, triple step. She does pivot, pivot, chasse to the side. So whether it's an underarm turn or a hand change, your part for this pattern stays exactly the same. So as the lady, I'm dancing 1, 2, I do my anchor or coaster, 3 and 4, the hand starts to come down. The man puts it behind my back on 5. It ends up in his other hand on 6, trailing behind me. It's his job to change it. 7 and 8, I get the turn done. All right? So that is our pass, overturned left side pass, and our whip with hand change or hand change spin. Okay? Now, then our two patterns for the advanced level, right, which are the basket whip with the check and the basket whip with the check and spin. So I'm going to bring Na back out as I demonstrate and talk those through. There won't be a lot of technical parts with your feet because they're roughly the same as what you've done so far. But these are the key points about this pattern. On a normal basket whip, 1, 2, I can be fairly close behind the lady and totally make that pattern work. However, to do the check and release or check and spin, that won't work. And I'll demonstrate why so you can see it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Uh-oh, we have a problem. Neither one of us can get to our foot because our arms are too short, right? So here's how I fix that. When I go behind the lady on the basket whip, I go as far away from her as I can get. Usually it ends up being a neck wrap rather than a belly wrap. And let me demonstrate what I mean. A normal basket whip that hand comes down to this position, right? But on this one, I'm not going to bring my left hand all the way down to the waist or to the chest level as I normally would. I'm actually going to leave it here because I'm looking to create as much distance and still be able to have the hands and not lean forward as I can on that pattern. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll see how much further I am behind the lady now. So now both of us have time to generate that rock step. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time from this angle. So we have 1, 2, way behind the lady, rock, recover, and lead whatever version of it that you're doing. All right, man's part to the pattern, right? He is doing 1, 2, that's side forward, 3 and 4. So far, everything's the same. Here's where the check works. We're going to rock forward 1, 2, and then triple on the spot, triple step. So it is side, forward, triple across the track, rock, step, triple on the spot. Side, forward, triple across the track, rock, step, triple on the spot. That is the same for the man for both of these patterns, both the check and release and the check and spin. Okay? Girl's part to this pattern, right? She's doing very much what she's been doing on the basket whip. First 4 counts are exactly the same. She's doing walk, walk, triple on the spot. She's stepping back with her left foot like she always does. But this is the point when she's going to realize the man doesn't want her to go anymore. He's going to have her replace her weight, and she's going to dance a chassé. The man's down there, so my side is to the man, right? So I'm going to do the lady's part from here. So I'm dancing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, do it from the other angle. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, as the lady does that, I'm just going to bring Na out real quick. One of the things I didn't talk about is on the release on that pattern, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, rock, the hand comes up. Now, what's super important, gentlemen, well, for everybody, what's super important is there is not any pull on the hand going up. It's just going up. And what's really beneficial for the ladies is when you do the rock step, and now I'll demonstrate this really great this time. When you do the rock step, so you did 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you did 5, 6, you're going to hold that back leg in position. That will keep you from prematurely turning, as well as it gives you a nice picture. So we're going to do that. So that was on count 6. You're going to see Nod hang on to that back leg. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Right now, as I release her, she goes, notice she's already got her forward poise, just like the past. That's what holding that back leg did. Now she releases her body to chassé, triple step. Now, that same position, when we get to the spin, that will work just as well. So we're going to rock into that on 5. Na's going to hold it on 6. Now, at this point, she's going to keep holding that leg, even though I've started to twist her body. Now the bottom will catch up, and that's what gives her energy to do the turn, right? So we'll do that again. Right, so that holding that leg is a key point, keeping our feet connected to the floor. 3 and 4, 5, hold 6, I'm pulling, but then that little delay actually allowed her to swing her hips, which gave her energy for the turn. Now you saw what that looked like when she did it correct. This time we're going to let that leg kind of flop underneath here, and you'll see how her body gets a little out of position. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, everything's turning, 7 and 8. You can see there's no control for Na where she ends up, what direction she is. Her posture was bad all the way through that. So as scary as it is to hold on to that foot while the man's starting to turn you, right, and you are going to move your upper body with him as you're holding that leg, you're just going to hold that leg there for just a moment. Thanks, Na. All right, So to break down the ladies' part on that, even though you probably watch Na and she'll do it better than I did, the lady is doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Now the spin, your feet are apart right here. You're actually going to pull your feet toward each other. So as you spin, you're actually going to pull your feet toward each other. That gets you the turn or the spin started much more quickly, right? So I'll demonstrate that again because Na's going to be showing you that when we do it to the music. So I want to make sure and break this down. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so there we go. That is our 4 patterns for you, 2 intermediate and 2 advanced. We're going to dance through those one more time for you with the music. Very much. Enjoy your West Coast swing. We'll see you next week for our next class.